Yes, there's an air that's full-bodied, refreshing. Hot coffee makes any time a pleasant interlude. Won't you have some now?
I'm just part of that little crowd, just trying to find out what it looks like in Manchester, how we're going to do something that is kind of cool, how we're going to do something that is relevant to people, how we're going to do something that reaches out to people with great flavours, great coffee. And I guess we've all got our different agendas or our own different motivations for doing it. But at the end of the day, you want to do something great, don't you? You want to produce something. You want to produce something fantastic that people can sort of drink and go, well, that's special, and remember it. I suppose that's what I want to do, and I suppose that's what different people's motivations are. And there always is a community of people around coffee. It's always been like that. You know, it's always been the same, you know, for hundreds of years, really. It's something about it, it draws people together. I'm sure my mum thought I ran a cafe for about 2 years. It's like, no, I roast coffee, mum, that's what I do, you know, and sort of thing. So it takes a while for that to sort of catch on. I think people are starting to understand roasting now and understand what role a roaster contributes. It's just basically controlling heat. That's a lot of it. Different coffees from different places will grown at different altitudes will require sort of different amounts of heat at different times. So it's just sort of controlling that really, and then sort of as the air moves through the roaster as well, because there's different forms of heat that are sort of heating through the beans as it goes. So it's just sort of deciding on what you want the coffee. So starting with the end in mind, really. So you think, right, I'm aiming for a taste like this. I think this coffee should taste like that. So I'm going to try and aim for that point. And then trying a few different sort of roasts on it. So a bit more heat, a bit less heat, a bit quicker here, a bit slower there. And then you end up trying to draw out what the real character, what you believe that coffee can taste like, has the potential to taste like. And that's been a kind of really learning curve as well. You learn a lot about how you might want to roast that Kenyan versus how you're going to roast that El Salvador coffee or whatever, you know. So yeah, I'd say main thing really is controlling the heat and then how aggressive you are at different times with it and that kind of thing, really controlling that. Got to a point where I just thought, well, what's going to scratch the itch? You know, what is going to be the thing that is going to make it fulfill it for me? And that started me investigating roasting and what that would look like and how you build a little coffee roasting business in Manchester and what that would look like, and just start that journey really. As a little sort of small niche roaster, you're very reliant on importers really, because it's importers who offer you really high quality products. That's where you get the amazing coffees from. And it was brilliant. It was really good timing for me last year. A guy, Mike Riley, a bit of a legend, sort of dude in the coffee world. He was setting up kind of a specialty coffee importers like business. That will go and just deal directly with farms and farmers and co-ops and stuff, and deal directly with them. So really understand what it is they're buying, and will buy it based on sort of the cup as well, so what it actually tastes like. So it'll be like the quality of the actual coffee. And it's kind of a win-win-win scenario, because when the farmer's looking after the environment well, when the farmer's looking after the coffee well, when the workers are being looked after because they have to sort of pick the coffee right and all this kind of stuff, therefore your coffee's going to be better, and so it's going to be able to offer it at a premium. You're going to pay more for it. So it's the most natural form of sort of ethical trade, really. And so whatever they've got on their books, you kind of go by that, and you kind of, what you learn to look for is you learn for flavour. So you learn to understand what different origins will offer. So you learn to, right, okay, a Brazilian from this particular area of Brazil will offer me this. A Guatemalan from this area will, okay, that'll give me a kind of a chocolatey cherry thing, or I want something with a bit more kind of oomph, a bit weight to it. So maybe a Sumatran coffee, you know. And you kind of learn to kind of get a feel for that, and then you just find out what importers have got, try it, and think, yeah, that's that one, you know. And then you try and find a way of buying it, try and finding the money, and doing that. So, but yeah, so you piece it together like that, really. Yeah. I think I probably found it harder than I thought to build it into a business. I think you can roast coffee as a nice thing to do on the weekends. You can do it as a lifestyle thing. But when you want to make a business out of it, you've got to juggle. I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to build something, you know, something good and solid, you know. And at the same time, I'm trying to follow my passion. I'm trying to, because it is something I'm kind of involved with my heart. Do you know what I mean? So trying to balance those two things, because I'm doing it all on my own, I haven't really got like a business brain alongside me doing it. So balancing those two things, I think I found that really tough. And then, but you know, you learn and you grow, and so I think it's been a growth experience at the same time. So yeah, probably tougher than I thought, but satisfying, I suppose. There's a market that I've been doing in Heaton Moor for probably about the same amount of time, for about 2 years, and that's been brilliant as well. It's the only regular market that I've done, and built up a real good regular sort of customer base there, and that's been a good contact point as well, because then if people want to come and chat, and people who do get it and who do want to understand and do want to learn more, then that's a great place just to meet people face to face and talk about coffee and stuff. And it's just been gradually building like that, really, now. Just getting to know people, therefore, who want to take coffee more seriously, and then want to talk about it and want to kind of have it in their cafe or use it in their restaurant and that kind of stuff. Coffee is very much about the people in so many ways, especially on the sort of speciality side of it, because it's so hands-on, and there's a real appreciation of that in sort of speciality coffee. There's a real appreciation of everyone who's had hands on the coffee from the start of it, so like right from the farmer through to the people who've exported it, the relationships to the importer, how that's been brought into the country, and then the people who are roasting it. And then the people who are serving it. So if it's going into cafes, then baristas and people who are preparing the coffee. There's a whole kind of hands-on experience that builds a real community, a sense of community around it. And I do think that is a difference. That's a real strength that the independents can have over the chains. I'm partly quite outgoing, and I'm quite a people person, and I quite like being with people, and so I get to do that. I mean, that's what I mean. Coffee, I used to do a couple of days a week, sometimes more, and that was that side of me. So I got to go and work and interact with people and work with the coffee and do that. And then the roasting would be me on my own. But that kind of suited me, really, because I think that's two sides of me. Because I am quite introverted as well. I like being in my own little world and being away from it all, and I find that quite peaceful. So I suppose trying to find that happy balance of both those things, it kind of works like that. So now it's a little bit more, I'm only doing 1 day a week on the coffee fix, but I'm out meeting more because I've got more customers now and more cafes and stuff. So going out and meeting them and doing training and that kind of stuff. Again, I suppose that's the people side of it, and the markets and stuff as well. And then just more roasting. And so yeah, that's the balance. It's taste at the end of the day. If then at the end you try it and you think, oh, it's amazing, I've made that. And some people just get a real satisfaction out of it, like with any sort of baking or cooking anything at home. Just that satisfaction of drinking it and going, oh, I made that taste beautiful. Yeah, I enjoy that, and I enjoy being part of that process. I think it's being able to offer, you know, people something tasty to make as well. And I think there is more interest in it, and I think yeah, driven by access to that information.
Shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer, lead us lest too far we wander. Love's sweet voices calling yonder. Shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer, shine, little glowworm, glimmer, glimmer, light the path below, above, and lead us on to love.
Glow, little glowworm, fire, glow like an incandescent wire. Glow for the female of the species. Turn on the AC and the DC. This night could use a little brightening. Light up your little old bug of lightning. When you gotta glow, you gotta glow. Glow, little glowworm, glow.